Hello and welcome along to the Bunch of Punts betting podcast, your specialist show for football long shot bets. What we're going to do in the first half of the show is build an ACCA, no rules, just whatever you want, trying to build something around 15, 20, 30s to 1 and hopefully break our duck because we yet to have a winner. And then second half of the show is packed with loads and loads and loads of singles. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see we've got a special guest today, Jake Osgathorpe of Sporting Life, the data nerd. How are you doing, buddy?
Good, yeah. Thanks for that intro, data nerd. I'll take it. It's doing all right for us so far. So hopefully can bring a couple of nice winning singles and a sort of good contribution to winning ACCA.
Yeah, data nerd and host extraordinaire now. Hosting the Betfair show. If you haven't listened to that already, head across Spotify and get some of that. How did you find it?
Yeah, it was good. It was thrust on last minute. Kev, he was in hospital. He wasn't feeling very well, so wish him a speedy recovery. But yeah, he's touch wood, he's all right now. But yeah, just one of those morning of any chance. Yeah, no worries. I'll try and steer the ship. I think in my opening line, it was they've let the lunatics take over the asylum as Mark O'Hare and Lewis Jones were flying solo without too much control. But yeah, it was good fun. I'll hopefully get to do it again at some point soon, but you never know.
Yeah, you three are notorious lunatics. And completing the trio as ever, Matthew O'Regan. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Finally recovered from last weekend's heavy one, and I'm ready to get stuck in this week with the FA Cup.
Ready to get stuck in, and I'm going to tease it now because Matthew's found some absolute golden bets in the FA Cup. The mugs that are 365 are priced goal scorers for non-league v non-league teams. Honestly, I'm just looking at this sheet now. 14 to 1, 50 to 1, 66 to 1, 6 to 1, 5 to 1. More on that later, but we'll get into the ACCA now. Last week, we were stuck for time, weren't we, Matthew? Last minute Friday evening record. So we just did a whistle-stop tour of any bets going down the divisions, and then we chipped them off at the end. We're going to do the same approach this week, and there's no rules. So where shall we kick off? Newbies first in the Prem. Jake, have you got anything you want to flag potential ACCA-worthy punts?
Yeah, it's not sort of reinventing the wheel, but Arsenal win to 0 is just a bit of an automatic play at the moment. Whether they're playing against a good team or a bad team, you're getting around 10 to 11 yesterday. I think some firms are still offering that. It's just a bit of a no-brainer. The first team in English history to win 6 games in a calendar month, all to 0. Best defensive team in the league, best expected goals against, fewest shots conceded, fewest shots on target conceded. Burnley, exactly the opposite. Fewest shots taken, lowest expected goals. So I think it's just one of the bankers of the weekend. I've got 2.5 points on it in my column on Sporting Life. I'd be shocked. I mean, this Arsenal team are just an absolute machine at the moment.
Yeah, no-brainer. I should say, I'm building this on 365. It's just the easiest to do. You might get better odds elsewhere, but for markets and all that, we're on 365, and that is 5 to 6. Matthew, anything in the Prem taking your fancy?
I like that one as well. I looked. I think Fulham, Palace, and us are a bit too short, so I might be having a treble on them 3. But I don't trust. There's question marks over all 3 of them, so I don't trust them enough to put in the ACCAs. So for now, for Prem, it's only Arsenal to 0 that I like.
Yeah. Any interest in getting against Liverpool? That classic Saturday kickoff time of 8 o'clock.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like as soon as Jurgen Klopp's left Liverpool, all the, like TNT have gone soft. They've gone away from the 12:30 for Liverpool. They've put them at 8 o'clock the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, he must be absolutely stewing, Jurgen. He might be back soon. Slots on thin ice, isn't he? You've seen the money has come for him in the sack race.
Yeah,
is he second fav now?
Well, I saw he moved on Betfair from, was it 28 to 1 into 5 to 2, which is just an incredible move.
Yeah, I'm not surprised after his performance in the League Cup.
I wouldn't oppose Liverpool for the ACCA. I think me and you have both got long shots involved in backing against them, so I don't want to double dip.
Yeah, I'm wary. I'll be honest, I'm wary because for as good as much as I like Unai Emery and Aston Villa, their data this season is horrific. Like they're ranking in line with West Ham and Burnley in some of their attacking metrics. So I don't know whether I trust them to go to Anfield and get a result. I have put them in my column as well as as just because I think that. Right, it's more for the refereeing appointment, which I'm sure we'll touch on later in the singles. But I only had one more in the Prem that I thought again it's a big price, but Douglas Luiz to be carded at Nottingham Forest, Man United, good refereeing appointment, and it's kind of a trend I've been following quite successfully this season. It's just opposing opposition midfielders playing against Man United because they've got the two number 10s and Bruno Fernandes occupying the same space, and they're all really good at drawing fouls. So I think since the start of the season, the three of those have whether it's Cunha and Bumo, Mount, who else? Diallo's played there. They've drawn 5.1 fouls per game, that trio. So whoever's playing in the opposition midfield is between, if there's two of them, they're picking up 2.5 each on average, let's say. And yeah, we've seen 6 opposition midfielders booked in 9 matches. And Douglas Luiz, he got booked last weekend against Bournemouth, twice carded in 500 minutes for Juventus, and the season before he was booked 12 times at Aston Villa. So he's an absolute card merchant when he wants to be. Playing against the Dyche team that are going to be able to beat. Down in England, 4.2 cards per game this season, which is one of the highest in the league, because I think there has been a league-wide drop in cards. So yeah, that was the other one that I wanted to flag, because it's one of those, like a borderline price. It's like, is it best price 11 to 4? I'm not sure what it is on 365, but
12 to 5.
12 to 5, that's not too bad.
It's not bad, is it?
Yeah, it's whether you want to throw that in an ACCA or whether you think that's single worthy.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. So at the minute, Arsenal to win to 0, Douglas Luiz card in the Prem, it's 5.25 to 1. I was going to say Villa plus 1 on the handicap, that's 1.75. But if you two aren't having it, we'll swerve that and drop into the Championship, unless there's anything else in the Prem. Sunday as well.
No, nothing stands out for me.
Nada? Nothing for you, Jake? Right, into the Championship then. Because there's a few that I like. Wrexham play Coventry tonight, but we're going to have to ignore that because it's going to be too quick of a turnaround to get it out. Wednesday, 5 to 1 at West Brom. What is going on there? We spoke about it a lot. Opposed Wednesday at home, back them away. They've got 5 of their 6 points on the road. They've lost twice, but both of those games was by a 1-goal margin. Leicester opening day, they led. They got a man sent off, conceded twice from set piece. Charlton, they were 2-0 down, got their way back into the game in the second half. Jamal Lowe, I think, got one back. And then Horvath got sent off in injury time. Didn't have any bearing on the game. But it's worth flagging, they finished a man light in both of their defeats on the road. Both came by a goal margin, but they've gone to Birmingham, was unlucky not to beat them, conceded late. They beat Portsmouth 2-0 in a very weird game. Didn't deserve to win it, but they did. And then I forgot the other result, but they picked up another point elsewhere. And then I was looking at West Brom, because West Brom fans are not too happy. I think they've just been struggling for a bit of consistency. They was really good against Leicester, they drew. Really good against Derby, they lost, only conceded 1 shot on target. And then there was another team at big price who drew there, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, Wednesday, even money, plus 1 goal head start on the Asian handicap. It's not lost in any of Wednesday's aways, not lost in any of West Brom's home. Anyone having that?
I like it, yeah. I'm on similar in a column, so I really like it as well.
Jake?
As the Sheffield Wednesday fan on the panel, it's one of those, you look at Wednesday's data and it's horrific, but the stuff that's happened the last couple of weeks is kind of unquantifiable. The players getting paid before the deadline, early, just to rub salt in Chance. Well, not salt, but just to kind of reinforce how bad a bloke Chansiri was. Yeah, and obviously the administration, he's completely out of the club. They're looking for new owners. The fans have sold out last week. They're going to sell out next week as well. Yeah, that feel-good factor. But I do just wonder about the team and the squad and whether it's good enough to go to these kind of places, especially with the kind of, you're turning up there, you've just been docked 12 points. Like, you're going to be playing League One football next season, whether you fight hard or not. Obviously, that won't matter too much. They're still going to be playing for the badge and playing for their own personal careers. But I don't know. I'm always hesitant when it comes to Wednesday because ever since I started watching them, they've just been letdowns. Full stop. I don't think they've ever. I don't think I've ever bet on them, and they've ever won me a bet. Put it that way.
Yeah, but that's just you being a cynical Wednesday fan. That it's just the prize thing for me. It's 5-1 on 365, but that's been chipped away at because even this morning it was a quarter of a point bigger. Yesterday 11-2, and on that prize they went Wednesday fluttered in between 10-1 and 25-1 at the King Power, didn't they? Ahead of opening day, they went off at about 10-1, and it's the biggest prize they've been since then. And I'm not sure why, because they played Wrexham, Portsmouth, Birmingham, Charlton. And I don't know why they're shorter than they are from when they went to Birmingham. I just don't get it from a price point of view. So
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't make sense. And like I say, West Brom, they're not playing very well.
when they are playing well, they can't get the results, and then sometimes they're not playing well either. So they're just inconsistent. But
you're looking at the XG table. I mean, they're 16th in the XG table, so they're not like they're basically performing like a bottom half team. And
interesting because. Away from home, XG wise, I think Wednesday ranked 15th expected goal difference. So that they're all right away from home.
It does suit sitting back and counter attacking does suit this Wednesday team more. So, I mean, what's the handicap? +1.
+1. Even Stevens, not lost for West Brom at home, not lost for Wednesday away. Although you got a few pushes in that sample.
Yeah, stick it in the list.
It's in the list. Matthew, anywhere else in the Championship sticking out?
No, I found it proper tough in the Championship this week. Nothing else really stands out for me. It's sort of so many just god-awful games there that I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, the other thing to consider with the Wednesday one when we're whittling down this list is it is the early kickoff. That shafted us last week, didn't it, Matthew? Hull, Ipswich only winning 1-0 when we had them on overs. ACCA were over before it's even begun. Having said that, I have tipped Hull to win at Norwich. Good, like just informed team against an out of form team. Terrible team at home. Decent team away. Feel good factor at Hull. It's not at Norwich. Everyone hates the manager, the sporting director, the owners at the minute at Carroll Road, but. It's nibbled in a bit. It's just over 2-1, early kickoff, and Hull have got some serious injuries. I think McBurney's been ruled out. Miller's just come back into the team. He's straight back out. Lundstrom hasn't been playing, so it's an interesting price. But for an ACCA, I think we'll swerve that one. Shall I drop into League One then?
Now, hold on. What about your lot?
Oh, no. 4-5 at home to Derby.
Derby ranked second lower XG, I think. They've been diabolical this season. They don't shoot. I think it's really weird with Eustace. I could be wrong here, but when I looked at his previous results, they seem to, when they win, they only seem to have like 5 or 6 shots. So his sides are just really clinical, I think. So I can't figure out whether he's a good manager. Like, he's done well at 3 teams now, well-ish. I can't figure out if he's a good manager now or he's just got a clinical team.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing was that the back end of last season, they were actually really good. Like, the data was really good. And they've made all these acquisitions in the summer, turned the squad around a bit, and they've got worse. A bit like Liverpool, but to a lesser extent. Obviously, you've not spent 500 million quid. I just thought it's one, like, I know it was a sickener, wasn't it, for you last week, Jim, with Blades going comfortably up against Preston, and then your old boss Hecky coming back, and your mate Jefferson scored as well, didn't he?
Yeah, it was absolutely perfect for a United fan. 2-0 up, cruising.
Did you
lost
go?
3-2 in Jefferson? No. You could pay on the door. We were umming and ahhing, but we were one of them. We go in Coventry.
No, we were going to go as well because we're in Manchester, and we're like, fuck it, we might go, but we couldn't be asked.
Yeah, you could pay on the door, but we'd have to drive there, I think, because getting back would have been a nightmare, and no one were really offering to drive, so we just watched it in the pub. When we were 2-0 up, I was telling everyone, I've had us to win league, and then we lost 3-2. I was like,
Yeah. But the reason I brought it up was that was probably the first bad performance you've had since since Wilder took charge, really. I mean, you obviously, Southampton game you weren't too bad. It was just there's some good goals, weren't there, about Southampton?
Yeah, we were the better team. Had one disallowed, and then we definitely should have been at least a draw. Yeah, performances have been good. Hull was another one, weren't it?
Yeah, well, you racked up over nearly 2.5 XG, Hull did nothing basically and burgled a 1-0. Then you comfortably beat Watford, fight back against Blackburn, created loads of chances to win that one. And then, yeah, that Preston one was the first one. But as Matthew said, the Derby they're just not at the races for whatever reason. They have picked up a couple of narrow wins, but they've come against two teams that I would say quite poor. Norwich, QPR, I think they're both going to be in and around that bottom half. So yeah, I just thought the prices it could be one to get in, but
4
Derby
to 5.
they're such a fine margin team, aren't they? You look at their recent results; it's just like binary: 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 0-1, 0-1. Like, maybe just back the unders in this one. Maybe that's the way to do it.
Yeah, that is the thing, especially this matchup managerial. Like, it's just going to be such a dogged, narrow, fine margin game. Like, I get what you're saying. Unders is 4 to 6. Ew.
Yeah, no good.
I'll put Sheffield United in for now, alongside Arsenal to 0, Douglas Luiz card Wednesday, +1 on the handicap. It's 21.44, but I've got to feel at least one of them is going to get trimmed off. Any others in the champ, or is it FA Cup time?
FA Cup and league for me, yeah.
Yeah, what takes your fancy in the FA Cup?
I'm annoyed because Chelmsford, when they opened, were 9-1 at home to Braintree, and it was when I lost my account over the weekend. I was scrambling to try and get it on, and I was like, I'll wait till the morning, like it was either Sunday or Monday, where I know I could back it. And then by the time I woke up in the morning, it'd gone to like 11 to 2, and now it's even shorter. And it's going to continue to shorten, so I can't have Chelmsford, annoyingly. There's a couple I like. She has been quite stingy with the prices on 365, but I like Sutton to score 2 at home to Telford. Rock bottom, I don't have my notes here, so freestyling sort of. They're rock bottom of the league, and they've just appointed Agatha from Worthing. Obviously, I've watched a lot of Agatha's football. I didn't think he was good enough for the step up, but since he's come, they drew 0-0 at Braintree, scored 3 away to Farnham, then 3 at home to Farnham in a replay, 3 at home to Hartlepool, 3 at home to West Ham under 21s, and 2 away to Wildstone. So they're scoring goals, but they're getting beat, and they're shocking defensively. But yeah, at home they are averaging just shy of 2 goals a game. They've scored 2 at home to Scunny, 2 at home to Carlisle, 3 at home to Boreham Wood, who are good, 2 at home to Tamworth, and then they had a little spell where they didn't score 2 at home. And then they're playing a team in the league below in Telford who have sort of turned it around a bit recently with a few wins. But let me get it up. Yeah, they conceded 3 away to Bedford, 2 away at Darlington, 3 at Chorley. They even lost 1-0 to Alfreton, and that takes some doing this season.
Hey, said hey.
And they're just, don't know, I just think the league, Sutton are shit, and they're priced just about favourites. But yeah, them to score 2+ at home, goal scoring's not been their issues. It's defensively, and at home to Telford, they might need to score 2 to win. So it's 1.83, I think it is, for 2 goals, which I quite like, especially given if they were in the same league, I wouldn't touch it. But that league difference, and Telford have got a bit of a journey-ish. Don't even know where Telford is. It in the Midlands.
It's where Duffman's from, isn't it, Jake? I don't know where it's from though. Is it near
Yeah,
Shrewsbury?
I think it's near Shrewsbury.
Yeah,
I think it's around there.
Shrewsbury, yeah. It's a bit of a journey, not much, but like again, it's one they're not really used to playing in the north either. I just think with how Agutter sets his team up, he's under pressure a bit already because he hasn't won yet in the league. I think he's just going to go for it, and I know cup games are notoriously sort of cagey, but Sutton last cup game wasn't against Farnham, and I think it'll follow similar.
Yeah, because I was going to say, why not take the 65 on something to win? But if they're scoring goals and not winning, then you're better off just having them to score over 1. And then I was just looking then, what about goals in general? But that's painfully short, and it like 1 to 2 both teams to score. So
yeah,
I like this.
When they scored 2 at Wildstone, they lost 4-2. Scored 3 at home to Hartlepool and drew 3-3. Drew 3-3 with Farnham. So they're not winning games, but they haven't won. Their last win was 30th of August at home to Carlisle. But like I said, Agatha sides are always going to score goals. I saw it firsthand last season with Worthing, but just can't defend. So yeah, I like it a lot.
So that's in. That takes us to over 40-1 at the minute. But before you get into the other one, I just wanted to ask you quickly about Barnsley 5-6 at home to York. Monday, York 19-4. I was considering taking them, but now they're into 29-10 on 365. And you can get League One Barnsley, shade of even money to beat National League York. Would you touch this game with a barge pole?
I'm the same, and I did. Who was it for? I can't even remember who it was for. I did an FA Cup column, and I had York and both teams to score in as a long shot, and yeah, the money's come in for York, so it's one of them that, based on the prices now, I'd touch Barnsley, but it's one of them and no bet for me because, yeah, I do think Barnsley are too short at home, but I can't touch them because it's going to be party atmosphere. York was sold about 2,500.
Yeah.
Be sparse in the Barnsley end, I think, and yeah,
it will be very empty.
I just think York have that no fear factor. They can just go turn up, all the pressures on Barnsley, and that would suit York to a T. So yeah, I can't touch it. I think the value now is with Barnsley, but it's a no bet for me.
I was going to say, what about the boy Ollie Pierce to score? But he's the favourite on 365 at 11-10. Can't go near that either.
What about you mentioned there League One versus National League? What about Blackpool 8-11? Because obviously they're not doing very well in League One. They're second from bottom. They did win last time out, but they've got a new manager for this. Ian Ebbott's back. First game in charge, looking to steady the ship against National League Scunthorpe, and they're 8-11.
Yeah,
I can't quite understand that price because I think Blackpool are going to put a bit of emphasis on this game. I don't think they'll want to lose this because all of a sudden you're off to a bad start as Ian Ebbott manager. Yeah, I just looking down the slate, I thought 8-11. Wow, that was quite big.
Yeah,
yes. Like if you
Scunthorpe
go on, I was just going to say
flying, aren't they?
I was going to say
but for perspective,
they struggle and then they're doing really well.
It was like for perspective, if you got who's second bottom of the Prem at the minute? Like, all right, let's say like maybe not Nottingham Forest, but Wolves, for example, if they were playing at home against a team.
What about Wednesday
below,
at West Brom, 5-1? They're in the same league.
I know, but I'm just saying for like if you got two, so in League One, let's say Wolves at home to Bolton, like Wolves are going to be shorter than 8-11.
Yeah,
such a bit like the budget difference is huge. I know the National League does spend a lot of money, but 8-11, that's just as one to throw in the ACCA. I probably like that better than Sheffield United, to be honest.
But it with similar thinking, I thought you were going to go Reading. They're tiny bit shorter. They're 1.75 at home to Carlisle. I know Carlisle have been really good, but Reading are decent at home. They've got a new manager as well, so it's sort of similar narrative. And Carlisle are decent under Hughes. They are third in the league. But should the two divisions apart, and Reading aren't, I know Reading are in near the bottom four, but they're a team I expected to finish a lot higher. And I just think, again, 1.75 for them. Because the National League is a lot stronger than people think, and I think that's sort of priced into it. But I'd understand if it was against a League Two team, but I think League One is two divisions higher, and Reading and Blackpool both shouldn't be that short, I don't think, despite how good Carlisle and Scunny have been. Like Bromley at 1.85 at home to Bristol Rovers, and they're in the same league.
Yeah, there's so many weird prices in the FA Cup. It's like it's gone too far in the favour of the underdog. I don't know if they've been getting stung the last few seasons, but with Reading and Blackpool in for the time being, we're over 120-1. But is there a couple in non-league worth flagging as well?
There's only one I like, and it's an angle I sort of take every.
Oh, sorry, I forgot one. I like. I like an underdog's price in the FA Cup. Where are they? Cheltenham at home to Bradford. So Cheltenham unbeaten in 4 under Cottrell, should have won all 4, but for Gillingham's late equaliser. Bradford, they'd be missing some key injuries. Humphreys, is it Bobby Poynton, a couple of others. Sarkovic came back in midweek, but genuine chance of back-to-back promotion. Is this going to be a priority? I know the gaffer Alexandra made 6 changes in the second round last season when they were playing Morecambe in the same league. They'd lost. Cheltenham goal head start on the Asian handicap 1.90. They're at home as well.
It's one I like as a single, but it's one of them. There's nothing like if Bradford goes full pout, and not Cheltenham would rotate, but Cheltenham asked about survival as well. It's one of them that if the price is still there come team news and it's what you expect, is one I'd take. But there's too much up in the air to take it for an ACCA, I think.
Yeah, I think Cheltenham been nibbled in a bit as well. There were 11. They've only been nibbled in a tiny bit. Right, sweet. I'll leave them out. Maybe a single for later. Non-league them.
Yeah, there's only one I like, and it's sort of just going down the same route every week. But we've filed both teams to score and overs away at Marine. Filed are just a joke. Like, they beat Hereford midweek 2-1. Spennymoor away 5-0 before, and then Kings Lynn 2-1 away. They've scored, it's just loading now, 35 and 14 and conceded 17. They've got Ryan Colclough playing at that level, Danny Mayer, probably the two best players in the league, undoubtedly. They got Danny Ormerod, sorry. Brett Ormerod's the old Blackpool striker, isn't he? Yeah, Danny
I
Ormerod's
think it's
got,
his son, in it.
surely not.
I think it is. I think
Would
it is.
make
You were
sense
saying
to
on.
that neck of the woods. So
What's he
yeah,
called?
they've got,
Danny Ormerod.
yeah, but
That's
so
a
they've got
blue
like
carrier.
yeah, they got Colclough, Mayer, Jonathan Ustabasi, was clinical at Chorley, and he's there. They've just got goals all over the pitch, but they can't defend to save their lives. I don't have the stats to hand because obviously freestyling, but with that record, and then they're playing a Marine side who are 12th in the league, who were nothing special for goals before. They've had a few sort of big-ish results. They beat Buxton 2-1 at home. Lost 4-1 at home to Darlington, 4-1 away to Marine. But in their last three, they beat Macclesfield away 1-0, but that was hindered by an early Macclesfield red. They lost 4-0 at home to Curzon, but got an early red. And then they've gone to Worksop and won 2-1, which is a very good result. And then they've gone and beat Scarborough 2-1 away, who are very strong. So recently they're scoring a lot of goals and conceding. It's a perfect recipe for Fylde, who Fylde on their day could put 4 or 5 past anyone, but they're very, very bad for clean sheets. Fylde. I think they've only kept 1, 2, 3 clean sheets all season. 2 of them were against at home to Bedford, who was poor on the road, and against Peterborough Sports, who are in the bottom 4. So again, it's just a no-brainer every week taking goals in Fylde.
Right, so with that, 8 picks on the long list, just under 254 to 1. We'll work our way back up from the bottom. I think the Marine Fylde goals angles in. I like that a lot. Then we've got the 2 in the FA Cup. Reading at home to Carlisle, Blackpool at home to Scunthorpe. What do you reckon to them 2? Have you got a favourite? Do you want them both? What do you think?
I prefer Reading at home to Carlisle.
And Jake, you prefer Blackpool?
Well, I don't know too much about Scunthorpe, to be honest. I know Carlisle have been pretty good in the National League. Defensively, they are fairly solid, and Reading's issues have been scoring goals this season. So I don't really know. And I mean, if I had to pick, it probably would be Blackpool, because I think they showed at the back end of last season they have the potential in the squad to be able to score quite a lot of goals if they get it right. But I mean, I won't be opposed to just dropping both of them, to be honest, and just saying, like, let's just have a watching brief, because 2 new managers coming in against 2 sides at the top end of the National League, like, yeah, 2 struggling League One teams. It's got banana skin written all over it. And do you want the ACCA to go down back in one of these? Is the question.
To be honest, I'm very much in the same mind. Like, the prices, they don't make sense, but at the same time, in an ACCA, it's just making me a little bit uneasy. And I don't have the knowledge. I didn't do the research. I don't know how seriously these the Scunny Gaffer and the Carlisle Gaffer are going to take this competition. I don't know how many away fans they're taking and stuff like that. It just makes me a little bit.
Both will bring big followings. I just think, I don't know. I was expecting way shorter on Reading and Blackpool. So then because I had it ready in my notes that they were 2 potential banana skins. But I
like
made the prices so, like, I obviously I wouldn't touch Reading if they were 1.5 or stuff like that, but 1.75 near them with 1.8. I do think they're big, but I'm happy to take them out if you think too much of a banana skin in the cup.
Yeah, because I'm same as you. I was thinking these 2 would be 3 to 5, same as what Barnsley opened at. I thought they'd be 3 to 5, but I know for a fact Barnsley aren't gonna. I know we're not on about that game, but I know for a fact Barnsley the home end's going to be empty, and it's just making me a bit uneasy. Over 1 goal scored by Sutton. Don't know anything about the club set. I'm sure you're the same, Jake, but it was pretty overwhelming, the evidence, weren't it? It feels like a pretty easy one to fall back on.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep that in. Burnley, Arsenal to win to 0. Everyone happy with that one?
Yeah.
So at the minute, it's goals, Marine, AFC filed overs, and yes, over 1 goal for Sutton, Arsenal to win to 0. Sheffield Wednesday at Derby. I want to bump it, but I'm a United fan, so I'll sit this one out. What do you reckon, Matthew? 4-5, home win.
No, it's one of them. It's such a low margin game. It's one of them that it wouldn't surprise me 1-0 either way. So
that's getting bumped. The only two we haven't talked about yet. Wednesday +1 on the handicap at the Hawthorns. Early kickoff, but it's what do you like it?
Yeah, I don't mind it, but early kickoff is one thing I'm like, ugh. And then the other thing is, if Wednesday lose 1-0, this is a push and we're down to a fourfold.
Yeah, so
why not take one out and have something in that it's gonna like either win or lose. You know what I mean? Rather than reducing the ACCA potential winnings.
If Wednesday is a push, the remaining 4 we've still got one to talk about at the minute. It's 22s, which is okay.
Well, that's not too bad, yeah.
You don't mind it? You won't mind it? Would a 21-2, 22-1 winner be all right with you, Jake?
It would be, yeah, but yeah, it's the early kickoff, man. If you've got everything else at 3:00 and you don't even get a chance, if Wednesday get beaten easily,
reload it and add one of the selections we took out.
This is so.
But the prices might have gone by then.
Yeah,
the other one that we hadn't talked about that's bumping it up massively, Douglas Luiz card against Man United. I've never considered putting a book in this stage of the show, but I'm all for it. What do you think, Matthew? Is it too much jeopardy?
I really like the price. I'm happy to do it.
I'm happy to do it.
Loses, it's all Jake's fault. So we're in
the
clear.
And he's not coming back on ever again.
Yeah.
Right. So Arsenal are in. Douglas Luiz is in. Over 1 Sutton goal is in. Goals in the Marine Foul game is in. I think Wednesday early kickoff on the handicap. It makes so much sense. It's just the early kickoff thing, so we could trade them off.
What price is it? The fourfold.
The fourfold without Wednesday on the handicap, 22.42 to 1.
I don't think I personally don't see the risk in putting Wednesday in, because I think I wouldn't say at best you're getting a push, but it's just too much jeopardy for an early kickoff to I just think if it was a +1.5 maybe.
All right, what about a +1.25? 1.7 takes us up to just under 39 to 1. It's officially landed in all of Wednesday's away games and West Brom's. It's won for West Brom's oppositions at home. Boom, nailed it. Half stakes winners, but it's won in all technically.
West Brom
makes it feel a bit easier.
5 wins have all come by a goal margin, to be fair as well.
Exactly. Does that make it feel a bit easier, Jake? Or we can dump Wednesday, have the fourfold, or we can dump Wednesday, put either Blackpool or Reading back in.
Dump Wednesday, have the fourfold, I think. I do like the Wednesday prize, but I think purely ACCA, dump Wednesday, have the fourfold.
Yeah, Jake, what are you saying?
Yeah, I co-sign with Matthew.
Sweet. So, eventually we got there. The ACCA fourfold. It's a bit of a rogue one this week. Arsenal to win to 0 in the Premier League. Douglas Luiz to be carded for Forest against Man United. Over 1 goal. Sutton v Telford. That's over 1 Sutton goal, sorry. Both teams to score in over 2.5 goals in Marine v File. 22.42 to 1. As ever, I'll put the screenshot on the end of the bet slip on the end of the show, so you can, if you're listening to us, switch to YouTube and you can skip to the end and you'll find it there. Wallop. Singles then. We've got a lot of singles to get through. I'll throw to the newbie first, Jake, and I want to hear all about your set piece logic, because you've been having a good time of set pieces on your column at Sporting Life, haven't you?
Oh boy, have I, yeah. We had Road on last week at 18s. I think Chalobah landed for us at 14s at Old Trafford as well. So, yeah, get a bit of trumpeting in there. But yeah, we talked beforehand, and listen to last week's show. You guys mentioned about the angle of outsider and keeper to be carded, and how the kind of markets have trimmed that a little bit. We've seen that with some of the goalkeeper prices this week and last week have been absolutely horrific, haven't they, for cards. But yeah, I think the set piece prices and specifically the centre back goal scorers are just not the markets haven't caught on yet to the influx. I mean, it's been a massive talking point, hasn't it, around the league? Just how many goals are coming from set pieces and how many. Well, everyone's throwing the ball long. Everyone's taking like loads of corners and free kicks. No short corners, no short free kicks. He's getting it in the box, getting it in the mixer. Good old fashioned stuff. We've got our game back kind of stuff.
We have got I'm putting you on the spot here, but what percentage of goals this season have been scored from set pieces in the Prem? Do you know?
Oh, I do know, yeah. It was in my column. 27.8% of all goals scored from in the Prem have come from set pieces, and the league average since 2015-16 was 21.7%. So you've seen a massive increase. And then specifically from corners, it's 18.7%, which is on course to break the record as well. So, yeah, it's something that is massively in vogue, and it's a way we can profit because, like I said, centre-back prices are just not shortening enough, really. So, yeah, there's a couple I want to focus on. The first one is the 5:30 kickoff, Spurs taking on Chelsea. I wouldn't put anybody off backing Chelsea, to be honest. You all right there, Jim?
Yeah.
Shock that.
As you were.
Yeah.
It caught me by surprise, that. I might just mute my mic a sec.
Spurs' data is horrific, but one thing they have been doing very well is taking chances from set pieces. And I mentioned it last week in my column as well, that Chelsea are actually the worst team at defending set pieces in the entire league. Worse than West Ham. West Ham have obviously conceded the most goals, but Chelsea have conceded the most expected goals. I was on Dan Ballard last week at Chelsea. He had a shot on target after just a minute. And this weekend, it's got back Mickey van der Ven. I mean, anybody who thought at the start of the season Spurs have played 13 games in all comps, that Mickey van der Ven would be the top scorer among all Spurs players. I think, probably deserves a job in sort of predicting the future, because that would have been hell of a selection.
Yeah, you show me someone who would have said that and I'll show you a liar.
Exactly. He scored 5 goals in 13 games, all competitions. Obviously scored a brace last weekend as well. I wonder what the price was on a Mickey van der Ven brace at Everton. But the market's actually just not cottoning on. It's 14-1 to score again this weekend. And when you factor in Chelsea's defensive issues from set pieces, Van der Ven's goal, he's clearly got his eye in. He scored 3 in the Prem, scored 1 in the Champions League, scored in the Super Cup as well against PSG. Averaging 0.18 expected goals per 90, which is league leading for a centre-half. I think we just got to take it. 14-1 any time. I'm also on the 6-5 to have a shot with Bet365. That looks massive. And he's 4-1 to have a shot on target as well. And he's averaging 0.47 shots on target per 90 this season. So, but all of those prices, massive value, I think. But flipping it around, Chelsea are the third best attacking team from set pieces too. So it'd be rude not to have come on Bunch of Punts podcast and not put up a ridiculous big price. You can back Trevor Chalobah and Mickey van der Ven both to score in the same game here at 150-1 with Sky Bet Betfair. And Paddy Power. So I'm going to have a small nibble on that as well, because Chelsea, I think only Arsenal have scored more set-piece goals than Chelsea. They've scored 8 times, and only Palace, Arsenal have created more XG from set-pieces. So set-pieces are really, really important to Chelsea at both ends of the pitch, and I think this could be a game where we get involved. And Spurs did concede from a set-piece in midweek as well. Fabian Schär scored, so... that's where I'm going. And then just while I'm in mid-flow, we'll take it to Sunday. Spurs, West Ham are playing against Newcastle, and it's just the same theory. Like, West Ham are abysmal at defending set pieces. Nuno's come in, not managed to tighten things up whatsoever. They played 9 games in the Premier League. 5 centre-halves have scored against West Ham. 5. That's an incredible number. So you've had Rodon last week, Michael Keane, Van der Ven, Chalobah and Ballard have all scored against them. Conceded the most goals in the league. They've conceded 16 shots to centre-backs in 9 games as well. So incredible strike rate there. And the guy I'm going to target here is Malik Chow. I've been playing him for a while now because he's just consistently getting good chances from corners and set pieces.
What was that sitter who missed when we were on him the other week?
Oh, mate, yeah, not against Nottingham Forest. I think it had an XG value of about 0.46, and it was saved, that was a sickener. But yeah, you're getting 14-1 for him to score any time this week, and like Van der Ven, his XG numbers are quite high as well, 0.13, which is good for a centre half. And then you compare him to some other Newcastle centre halves, like Dan Burns, 10-1, and he's only had 3 shots in 9 games this season. So he, as we said before, Jim, he's kind of attracting all the attention. He's like the cheese that's been dangled to try and get the mouse into the trap. And then Fabian Schär, who does sometimes take set pieces, he can let fly from distance. He has a good scoring record, to be fair, but he's 11-2 to score any time, which is way, way, way too stingy. But yeah, Malik Chow was the one, and I'll be playing Van de Ven and Chow as a double as well, which I'm not 100% sure.
What price?
I backed it on Sky, and I'm going to have to get the price up because they keep fluctuating. So it was 12-1 each, and now they're up to 14-1 each. See what? Oh, the double is 224-1.
That's going in your record, 224-1.
So I'll be having a small nibble. Yeah.
Yep, lovely stuff. Matthew, where are you taking us next? Oh, wait, it's worth. We were just saying before we started recording. So Botman, the other Newcastle centre back, is he potentially injured?
Yeah, he came off injured last week, so I'm not sure if he's going to play. Schär, like I said, played in midweek. He did score in midweek as well, but Chow is definitely going to play. That's one of the reasons I do want him in, is because he's definitely going to play, and Botman is touch and go, and they've got a Champions League game next week as well, so I don't think he'll risk Botman if he's not 100.
Yeah, perfect. Right, where are we going next then, Matthew?
Yeah, well, you might as well go because you've got one in the Prem that I looked at, but I'd leave it with your angle for everything, so I'll leave it with you.
Yeah. All right, if I have to. Liverpool Villa. So I flagged getting against Liverpool for the ACCA because they are bad at the minute. Have they lost 6 of the last 7? Their only win come in the Champions League against Eintracht Frankfurt, and without being disrespectful to Eintracht Frankfurt, there's not much weight you can put in that because they're just batshit crazy. I think they've only won or lost 5-1 in the Champions League this season, haven't they?
They have,
batshit crazy. Villa, like the complete opposite when it comes to form. They've won 6 of the last 7 in the Premier League. It's 4 on the spin. Came from behind against Tottenham, beat Man City. And I know Jake's already flagged their worrying underlying data, but when it comes to Emery in the big games, he's always got a plan. I just think back last season, did he do Arsenal 2-0 at the Emirates, scuppered their chance of the title? He always seems, this is just waffle, but he always seems to go toe-to-toe with the best and the biggest in the divisions. And this season it rings true. I mean, coming from behind to beat Tottenham, they were on the ropes and they scored 2 wonderful goals. And then grinding out a result against Man City last week. They're just good at it. So, I wouldn't put anybody off them on the handicap, as I tried putting forward earlier. Gravenberch is potentially back for Liverpool, the anchor of their midfield. He'll make them a much better outfit. But anyway, you can get him double chance and to win alongside Martinez to be carded. Jake, I know you like this pick as well. I think the double chance best price, is it 13-1 Ladbrokes and Coral? And then
That's right, yeah.
And then the win, it's 25s with 365 on William Hill. Both worth taking. If you don't know about Martinez, he fucking loves a card. He's got 25 in last 7, 1 this season. Cards per 90 average of 0.13 for a keeper, which is nuts. And the majority of his cards, barring the red card at Old Trafford, perhaps that springs to mind, the majority of his bookings are obviously for time wasting and they coincide with a Villa result. So he's 9-2 with 365 for a card. I think you can get bigger elsewhere, but for the sake of the bet, the whole point of it, it's backing Villa to get a result, and then Emery's going to be carded. That's the logic. So I wouldn't take the single, just couple it with those results. But in terms of referee, it's another perfect one, isn't it, Jake? It's like the perfect ref for the perfect keeper card game. The big price away team, shithouse keeper, and it's Atwell. He's done 2 keepers for time wasted in 6 league appearances and signed off last season, booking 5 in 6. I know Henderson got 1 in the cup final, Coventry's stopper got 1 in the Championship, but in the Premier League, 2 of those 5 cards went the way of Emi Martinez, so he clearly don't like him on a personal level. So Martinez double chance, and Martinez Villa win, 12s with William Hill, 25s with Bet365 and William Hill as well. We're flagging.
No, I'm on that as well, and he's booked a keeper in 8 of his last 10 league and Championship games. Atwell, which is absolutely bonkers. And actually, in those 10 games, he's carded Villa's keeper 3 times. So he carded Emi twice at the back end of last season. He carded Marco Bizot this season for
penalty,
a foul.
that weren't it?
Penalty, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's personally, I'm taking the single on the card as well, because did a little bit of digging, and Martinez, he's obviously most of his. I think his last 13 cards since the start of 23-24, 7 have come for time wasting, 6 have come for dissent or fouls or fighting, because he got one for fighting at Brentford.
That would be.
I think it's like you said. There's a bit of tension between Atwell and Emi, and I think if he's not going Villa's way, you could see Martinez giving him some Spanish hands or Argentinian hands, and get himself into the book. So I like that one.
Yeah, good. Right, Matthew,
It's
what
one
have you got for us?
I've got one that I forgot to put on the record that you mentioned off air.
It's not the A-League, is it?
Yeah, well, I tipped it up on Twitter on his debut because I couldn't remember the prize, and then I forgot to take it the week after, and it landed again. It's Sam Cosgrove to be carded at 7.5 for Auckland at home to Adelaide. Last season in League One, 934 minutes, only 3 cards. So 0.29, 0.3 per 90. So it's good price there. 3.66 fouls per 90. He's a bit of a clogger, isn't he? Just lumps about, puts his body in. I watched his card. He just, for no reason, just slid through the centre back. I don't know what he did last week. But yeah, he likes to put himself about. 4 yellows in 9 starts the season before in League One. And this season in the A-League, he's already been booked twice. He's made, He's made 5 fouls in 155 minutes. He's just a big shithouse, isn't he, Cosgrove?
Big
time waste if he had to. Adelaide, I'm just checking if Striker's been booked against them this season, because I'm sort of freestyling it again because it just came to me now. Yeah, Sawyer for MacArthur, who's a similar sort of striker, big burly striker for MacArthur. He got booked against Adelaide, so it's one worth taking. I don't know the prize, so I'd have a point on Cosgrove at 7.5. I don't know the price of the double, but Bart Vriens for Adelaide, the Adelaide centre-back, is 3-1 for a card. He's already made 2 fouls and 2 starts, was booked last game against MacArthur, so similar thoughts in terms of striker versus centre-back. He got booked for a late tackle on the striker, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him again. It'll be about 27-1, I think, the double, which I'll have half a point on as well.
What's the centre-back's name?
Bart Vriens, Dutch fella. Bart Vriens.
Bart got him 3-1. Where the fuck? Cosgrove 28. Yeah, you're spot on.
Yeah, so it's Cosgrove price for how he plays and everything. And Australia, I've noticed the refs seem to like them late elbows that they get away with in countries. Australia, they don't seem to let them get away with it. So I like Cosgrove. But my original pick that I was going to say before, I've no idea how you pronounce his name. Zan Viptnik, the Swansea fella.
Viptnik. I don't know.
Yeah. Slovenian Swansea fella, 4.33 for a goal. I'm having 3/4 of a point on and a 1/4 point on the brace at 26. Especially you, Jake, wouldn't like this pick, especially because of data. Swansea ranked second lowest for XG, and sort of fans are divided on Sheehan. They're pragmatic, and I'm backing a striker for a goal and a brace against a Nathan Jones side, which is sort of a recipe for disaster. But some players are just the exception to the rule with XG. If you look at his 2 goals against Norwich, how well he strikes the ball, his ball striking is so clean. I don't really think you can quantify him with a metric like XG. He's one of them that's always going to outperform his XG. I think he struggled in his first season, and he's already got more this season than he did last. He's got 8 in all competitions, 6 in the league, from only 2.57 XG. So like I said, a massive over performance. But yeah, just the way he strikes the ball, he's a lot of the time Swansea can't create, so he'll get the ball at the edge of the box and he's not afraid to just let one pop. And he's really good at them. And I think regardless of the XG, striker averaging 0.86 goals per 90, you could just sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck. So I think 4.33 about the goal, and 26 for the brace is big, regardless of what the underlying data says.
Yeah, I love it. Back to the A-League. I'm on exactly the same as Sam Cosgrove. I wish you would have told me you knew he went to the A-League and he was going to get carded before the first game. I missed the tweet. We were watching the A-League in the office because you got that lovely Friday night 9:30, 10 o'clock slot. So it's just a nice opportunity to do some early morning gambling. And then we all just started digging into the A-League, and it was Duffman who said, "Fuck, Cosgrove's gone there. He's got 2 cards in 2. 7.5 for 1. Everything you're saying spot on." And I did this thing a few years ago where I was tracking every player who went from the EFL to the A-League for a retirement, because when they get there, they're still playing like they're in the EFL. They don't know they're supposed to be on holiday, so they're playing as full-blooded, and they just get loads of cards early on. And you're spot on. It's exactly what's happening with Cosgrove. So I follow you in with a point on that and half a point as well on the double. And that'll be in the spreadsheet because it's Cosgrove and Friends, and it's V but Friends without an F. So you'll find it on 365. But we're saying 4 o'clock in the Saturday AM. So don't get caught out with that. If you're listening tonight, make sure you have it Friday evening if you want it. But yeah, it's worth tracking. I haven't done it this year, but worth tracking any EFL former players heading over to the A-League, or maybe MLS as well, because they do seem to get a glut of cards early on. Back to the... I've only got a couple left. Back to the Championship. Talked about it a lot Wednesday. I fancied them to get a result at West Brom. Perfectly, just like the Villa's trip to Liverpool. Benton as the ref. 20 keepers booked last season in 36 games. 2 in 8, I believe, this season. Hovarth should come back into Wednesday's net. He's been carded once, sent off once, carded away at Portsmouth. They had Joe Lumley on loan, emergency loan. He had to play, I think it was contracted, he had to play both games that they got him on loan for, but I think he's gone back. Hovarth should return to the net. And we didn't mention when I was talking about Wednesday earlier, they have been put into administration, and for some weird reason, it's detriment to what state the club's in, but it's just brought back a feel-good factor. They've had an amazing away following all season because it's kept money out of Chancery's pocket. But with them going into administration, a lot more fans went for the defeat at Oxford. They should be in absolute party mode at West Brom. So I think it's just worth coupling Hovarth to be carded alongside Wednesday double chance at 14s with 365, and Hovarth to be carded alongside a Wednesday win at 35s, half a point on the latter. Jake, what else have you got for us?
Yeah, I think it'd be rude not to mention the great man Anthony Taylor is in action.
Yes.
Who cares about Man City, Bournemouth? We're all about Anthony Taylor. He is the best referee in the world for no cards. And yeah, he's just one of, like, it's an automatic bet every single week because he's so low cards. That you sort of have to take it, because the one week you don't, he goes and fucking drops a no card game in the Manchester derby at a massive price. Cheers for that, Anthony. But yeah, it's 25 to 1 this week. I'm not going to have a lot of a big stake on it as usual, because Bournemouth are quite a foul heavy, card heavy team. So I'm probably going to do, I think I said to you, Jim, I'm going to do a quarter of a point on it 25 to 1, but I'm also going to do quarter of a point on the high line, just in case things pop off, because for whatever reason, so I did a bit of digging. Since the start of last season, Anthony Taylor's refereed Bournemouth 3 times. He's shown 3 cards, which was in the game at Anfield at the start of this season. But last season, he had a 14-card game, Bournemouth-Chelsea, and he had an 8-card game as well with Bournemouth involved. So complete polar opposite to when he referees Man City. So the last 8 times he's refereed Manchester City, he's had 4 no-card games, which a 50% strike rate when referee Man City. Most of those have come at the Etihad as well. So it was the Manchester derby, Manchester City versus Liverpool last season as well. Was one of them. I can't remember the other 2, but yeah, 8 games he's refereed Man City since the start of last season, average of 1.1 cards per game. So you've got real contrast here between Taylor likes to be very lenient when Man City playing, but very strict when Bournemouth are playing. So this one could go either way. And like I said, I'm going to sprinkle a bit on the high line and a bit on nothing, because I think it's going to be one or the other. Like, I'd be very surprised if it's like a 2 or 3 cards. I think it's either going to be like 1, 0, or like 6 or 7. because these two teams played 3 times last season. And if you remember the game at the Etihad last season, we were actually in London, Jim. Remember, we went down for the podcast show and we watched the game, and it was just like a non-event. And then all of a sudden there were 2 red cards. It ended up being 6 cards, including 2 reds. So, and there was an FA Cup game at the Vitality that had 6 cards as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if this went either way. But I just thought covering both bases. It sounds a bit cowardly, but I think it could be quite shrewd, just in case Taylor does click into either City mode or Bournemouth mode.
What is the high line? Sorry.
We'll take over 5.5 at 4-1.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because you're covering all bases. It's road.
And if he shows like 3 cards, then you just hold your hands up and like, well, yeah, fair.
Annoyingly average day for Taylor. Matthew, where are you taking us next?
Yeah, so my final EFL pick before I go to FA Cup and on league later. Norwich Hull. I've got 2 cards at Pele Matson to be carded for Norwich at 5.5 and Regan Slater at 5s for Bet365. The doubles 25, so I'm having half a point on each card and sort of 0.75 points on each card and half a point on a double. Joshua Smith this season's been a bit meh. He's very inconsistent with his cards. Averaged about 4 per game last season, but he can frustrate you. Matson was signed in the summer. He averaged 1.44 fouls and 0.3 yellows per 90 last campaign. He's already made 14 fouls and 3 yellows in 7 starts. 3 of these yellows have come in the last 4. So yeah, I think the price for him is a bit too big. 3 and 7 at 5.5. He's all action sort of. He's also fouled 1.71 foul times per 90. So sort of drew my attention to his opposite number, who's Regan Slater. Stars are sort of aligning because, like Matson, he's also picked up 3 cards in 7. And it makes it even more appealing. Norwich have attracted 13 yellow cards from opposition centre midfielders this season. I don't know why, because obviously 1.71 fouls per 90 is quite a bit. My centre mid partner don't draw that many, but Norwich seem to attract cards galore from midfield. So, yeah, 2 players with good records, opposition centre mids get quite a few. I'm on Slater and Matson cards in Norwich Hull.
Oh, I like it. I've got 1, 2 more, but I'll just rattle them off now. So with doing 2 keeper cards in separate games, I've sort of steered away from the real muggy doubles. Not like I was doing them for the sake of it. I was backing them myself and I genuinely fancied them, but really fine-tuning it this season until the perfect circumstances arise. I think that's it this weekend. So you can do Wednesday, double chance, Villa double chance, and the keepers, Martinez and Horvath to be carded. The double chance double is 179 to 1 with 365, and then the same, the win double. So Wednesday win, Villa win, Horvath and Martinez both to be carded. That's 935 to 1 with 365. I'm having half a point on the double chance, half a point on the win double. A quarter of a point on the win double, sorry. The sheet will be at the end of the show. But please understand, I'm not doing it for the sake of it. I've tipped it on my column. It's just so perfect. The away teams are good away from home. The home teams are in bad form. The keepers have track records for getting cards, and the referees on both occasions are absolutely perfect. Toner is my favourite referee of all time, and then Atwell's, he's got a problem with Emi Martinez. So I'm just praying Wednesday get a result and it lives on for the last kickoff. I did something similar last season. I think it was in the Manchester Derby day when Man United won. They had Unana in the net, and I did it with Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson got booked. They won in the early kickoff, and it was on. I'm not trumpeting. I'm just saying I haven't had this feeling about keeper card bets since then. So I think it's worth doing. The other one, Villa Wednesday, Cheltenham. 3 prices I think are still big enough, even though they've been chipped in a bit. I'm playing them as a Trixie, 174, 175 to 1, 365. Half a point across the lot. But it's worth pointing out, if you are doing the Trixie with me, have the treble as a treble, because it'll boost it, and then just do the other 2, 3 combination doubles as a double. Get a bit of extra winnings there. But 3 big prices. I spoke about them tons, each of the teams already this show, so nothing to add. And that's the last of mine. Jake, have you got... Oh, yeah, you've got something from Turf Moor, haven't you? You're muted, brother. Brother, you're on mute.
Thank you. Yeah, that's because I had someone ring my doorbell, so my dog was going nuts. I didn't want you to just hear yapping in the background. Yeah,
No
it's
different to you talking. Hey,
hey, very good. Yeah, we're on Arsenal 1-0. Obviously, we're expecting Arsenal to dominate here, but just looking a little bit closer at the data, like I think it's worth laddering against Burnley's shot totals. So we can take Burnley under 5.5 total shots at 2-1, under 4.5 total shots at 7-2, and under 3.5 at 6-1. They all seem worthwhile taking because Arsenal. So they conceded the fewest shots in the league. They've conceded 72 shots this season in 9 matches, but 22 of those came in one game at Old Trafford. So in the last 8 matches, they've only conceded 50 shots, which is an average of 6.25 per game. And in that time, they've played Man City, Newcastle, Liverpool, among obviously some other dross. But yeah, this is league only.
Okay,
ignoring the Carabao.
We'll
Yeah, but Brighton racked up a load of shots in midweek. But yeah, they've played against 3 teams you'd expect to be in and around the relegation mix. So they played Leeds, they conceded just 3 shots. Nottingham Forest, they conceded 5 shots. And West Ham, they conceded 4 shots. Now, granted, all of those did come at home, but Burnley's home matches have been really, really low for shot totals. They've had a very kind schedule. They managed just 7 against Sunderland, 3 against Liverpool, 4 against Leeds. And I just think Arsenal could go there and really clamp them down and limit them to doing absolutely sweet nothing. And I think it's worth taking that little chance at some bigger prices.
lovely stuff. Now, best of last. We teased it at the start of the show, and I can't believe you got non-league goal scorers. So who better than to run you through the best ones than Matthew O'Regan?
Yeah, some of the odds that I saw, there were some I was excited for, like Ollie Pearce is just shocking odds for what they are, but I picked out a few that I think could go close. Buxton Chatham, obviously, probably getting bored about how much I love Buxton now. I talk about them every week. I just love them. Yeah, and Taj Sojay and Luke Brennan are both decently priced in the goal scorer market, considering their record, but too short for a long shot. I'm going Kieran Burton, goal scoring defender. Well, I say goal scoring defender. He scored a brace against Alfreton on the weekend. They're his only goals of the season, but he got 6 goals in 40 starts last season, which is a decent record for a defender. He loves to maraud forward, comes up for set pieces, and yeah, I just think they're playing a side in the division below. Someone was 8 in 48 now, I think it is. So 1 in 6, sort of. Yeah, it shouldn't be 15s against a side in the league below. So I'm having half a point on him. Then Maxfield Totten, 2-step 2 teams, but obviously different in the regionalised. There's a lot to like about this Totten side. They've taken to the National South like a duck to water, and they're sat in 3rd. They have the league's top scorer in Tony Lee, but there's another player that's perhaps gone under the radar in Ashley Clark. He's back for another spell on loan from Bournemouth. He's already got 4 goals and 2 assists in 10. He got a brace against the league's best defence in Western-super-Mare. He's naturally a winger, but looking at their recent games and looking at SofaScore, heat maps and everything, and highlights, he's sort of been given the freedom to roam inside and sort of affect the game in dangerous areas. He's getting a lot more touches near the area. He likes to cut in and shoot. And against a possession-heavy side like Macclesfield, that suits Totten. They can sit back, counter, and someone like him carrying a ball, he'll be a big threat. So, yeah, he's got 4 in 10 and he's 6 to score. I'm having a point on that and half a point on the brace at 51s. And then Cambridge Chester, League 2 side versus National North. Tom Pears is 7s to score and 67 for the brace. He has only scored just twice this season, and that was a brace against Alfreton. He also got a goal in the FA Cup against Stalybridge. In his first full season at Chester, he got 19 goals as they just missed out on promotion. He was sort of forced wide often to facilitate strikers, but has since been trusted through the middle. Jimmy says he was playing centre mid against Alfreton, which
He might have
probably,
been off the front, man.
yeah, it
He
might,
was their skipper, tall lad, took their penalty, scored their
yeah,
penalty.
yeah.
To be fair, he might have been further forward than centre mid, but he was one of three, and he might have been the most advanced thinking about it.
I spoke to a couple Chester fans just to get clarity on it, and they're both saying they think he's a donkey, but they both said he'll be playing as a main striker. And normally, yeah, he normally gets more goals in this season, but hasn't clicked yet. But what perfect time than sort of a League Two game, like a team against a League Two team. It's sort of a bit of a mismatch the way Chester play this season. I don't know the date behind it. I could just be making this up, but in my head, non-league, lower league teams have a better chance of getting a pen against teams like this. I don't know why. I just thinking loads of long balls, loads of throw-ins, loads of corners, bit of rough and tumble. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but in my mind, there's going to be more penalties from lower league teams. And if so, Tom Pearce, 7 for the goal, half a point, and 67 for the brace. I was disappointed. Yeah, I wanted a few more non-league bets, but she hasn't been that generous with the pricing.
No, you can't force him, but Kieran Burton got a brace against Alfred, and I know they battered him, but he was
I could
so
probably spot the brace
advanced.
against Alfredson, to be fair.
Steady. He was so advanced. He's 14 old
Were you
money
at the
to
game?
1. No, I was at the Barnsley game that day, but
He's got awful haircut though, but I'll forgive him for I'll forgive him if he gets a goal. I haven't even bothered to check the brace price, but I'm 15 is a bit ambitious as it is, let alone back in the brace. But the thing is though, it's
I
not like
know.
they're playing a team in their division or above. It's a team. Cheltenham are good and got a good defensive record, but they're still division below, so still a golfing quality. So 15's, I think, one of the biggest pets to score.
What pitch do Chatham play on? Do you know? Is it 3G?
3G, I think they've got really good facilities down there. I've been.
Oh, because I was going to say Buxton is free. It's 3-4G or whatever it is. I didn't know if that'd be a bit of an edge, but if they play on it as well,
I don't know which.
yeah,
I've got a really good setup there, but it's.
yeah.
I'm useless with noticing. I sort of like, unless it's like a really dog shit pitch. Sometimes for me, I just don't really clock.
I always notice if it's 3G because I think, oh, I'd hate to play on that. Getting in the shower after with all your knees cut up. Ugh. Yeah. Right. Oh, you got one more, haven't you? Non-league.
Marine versus Fylde. I sort of touched on it earlier. I'm on Fylde basically every week. Winning both teams score 3.4. Fylde are good, very good. They've scored 35 in 14, conceded 17. Both teams to score has landed in 11 out of 14. They've scored in every game and scored 2 or more in 11 out of 14. So, yeah, very, very good going forward. As I mentioned earlier, Marina got 3 impressive wins in 4. They beat Scarborough, Worksop and Macclesfield all away. They're without a win in 5 home games, though, and 4 of their 6 league home games have seen both teams to score. A lot of their recent games have been very tight in the underlying numbers, with the wins against Macclesfield, Scarborough and Worksop sort of coin flip, really. And I think against a side like Fylde, who just put any team to the sword, I think, again, it's stupid not to take the win and both teams score again at 3.4.
Stuff. So, I was just trying to count them then. We've got the ACCA, of course, 22 to 1, and then we've got 27 singles and 5 bets over 100 to 1. So truly living up to the name today, a bunch of punts. I'll recap the ACCA quickly, but as I say, if you're listening, skip to this bit on the YouTube video. All the screenshots of every single bet we've tipped will be there. We'll track it as ever on the trackers, but I know there's so much out there. If there's something that you liked and you just hadn't had time to write it down, just skip to the end and it'll all be laid out for you on the YouTube video at the end. So the ACCA, I think it was just over 22 to 1. Arsenal to 0 against Burnley. Douglas Luiz to be carded. Forest v Man United, so rogue, I love it. Sutton to score over 1.0 goal at home to Telford, so 2 goals or more. And then over 2.5 goals in both teams to score, yes, in Marine v AFC Fylde, 22-ish to 1, I believe. And then we've got 27 singles for you to have a go at, 5 over 100 to 1. So enjoy, but I think that's everything. Today, over an hour long. Jake, thank you so much for coming on. Love the centre-back shouts.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, hopefully they can deliver just as the same rate that they have been so far this season.
Yeah, and if they do win, we'd love to have you back on. But if they all lose, then you'll never be hearing from us again.
You're
I'll
going
get
to
an hour back on my time then.
You're going the Tom Love blacklist.
That's fine. Yeah. No, I hopefully at least one bet wins so I can reappear.
Lovely stuff, Matthew. Thank you so much, as ever.
Pleasure as always, mate.
Pleasure as always, and best of luck, everybody, with your punts. We'll be back probably Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday next week. Best of luck with all your bets this weekend, and we'll catch you on the Flippity Flip.